How do I nose in focus? All I see is a big level on my face now. Poor Jason, he's my tech person. Get me all set up.
Can you see the white square? So the white square is the focus.
Okay. You can't stand at the door.
I won't.
Yes, you will. I need to hear you go downstairs. Jason! Go! Making me so awkward. Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I know it's been a little minute. Again, I say this like literally every video since my last video, but it has been so busy between work and a few little trips that we've been going on. It's just been, yeah, just crazy. And as you can see, I'm sitting in the baby's nursery. We've been working really hard to get that all ready, and we're actually, I would say we're pretty much done. There's not a whole lot left to do or to buy. Feels really good. I'm gonna do a full nursery tour in an upcoming video for sure. But yeah, it's really nice to have it done. So yeah, lots to update you on. So this is my 26 to 29 week pregnancy vlog. So I'm actually 29 and a half weeks pregnant right now, and as of Wednesday of this coming week, I'll be 30 weeks, which is insane. I feel like time has just, in so many ways, just evaporated. I went from, you know, it felt like I was like, just gotta get to 12 weeks so we can, you know, start telling people. Just gotta get to 18 weeks for the morphology scan, and now we're at like 30 weeks. And, yeah, I mean, it's mind-blowing to me, just mind-blowing. Lots of updates, tons of updates for you. So essentially, in between my last vlog and this vlog, I had a couple doctor's appointments. I redid my glucose test because I did fail the first one by like a smidge. Like literally the smallest smidge ever. What they didn't tell me, but you know, before I did the test, was that there were certain foods you should probably avoid. And before I went into my glucose test, like the very first one, I ended up having a banana and a bagel, both of which, you know, have a lot of sugar in them and carbohydrates. And so ended up spiking my blood sugar right before doing the glucose test. So I think I was like destined to fail that one regardless. But the second one was the 2-hour test. That one went really, really well. Everything looked great. So my doctor has no concerns at all for gestational diabetes or anything like that. I might have to sit back because it's getting a little harder to breathe. He's getting so big. So according to the app that I have, which I use, the Pregnancy Plus app, baby is about 3 pounds now and about the size of a puppy or a winter squash. So they kind of have like, you can measure it by like animals, vegetables, like fruits and vegetables, or desserts. And I think they're kind of funny because, you know, a winter squash, like I feel that's kind of subjective. It depends on the kind of squash you get or the size of the squash. But I do really like that app. If you are looking for one, it's completely free. They think they have a premium option, but I just have the free version. And what I like about it is I do like the little week by week summaries. It kind of walks you through what baby's going through, what you're probably going through, and then there's even some info in there for your partner, which is kind of nice. So really loving that, and it's been a little crazy because week to week, every single thing they say that is probably going to be introduced into like that specific week is, for me, my pregnancy honestly has been so textbook in terms of like, okay, you're this far along, you're probably experiencing restless leg syndrome. Like, yes, I am. Woo, yay. So I'm really grateful it's so normal, especially given our history. But at the same time, every single symptom under the sun, as I'll get into in a moment, that you could possibly have while you're pregnant, I am having. It doesn't help that I am a little older, and I think, you know, obviously this pregnancy is just hitting my body a little differently. And yeah, so it's been hard, but also obviously so grateful that we're going through this journey. And I think that's even that mindset shift of like, I am so grateful to be going through this, and there are moments that it's so hard, is really hard to wrap my mind around as well, because I don't want to complain. I've wanted this for a decade, you know, since having Willow, I've always wanted another baby. And you know, now that I'm going through the process, it's like I want to feel nothing but gratitude. And I'm also dealing with a lot of things that are really hard. So that's been a bit of a challenge, and I think it's held me back a little bit from even wanting to like do these videos, because I don't want to come on, oh my gosh, I'm starting to feel a little emotional about it, but I don't want to come on and ever complain, because having, you know, battled with, you know, infertility for so long, I understand and appreciate so much the you know, the blessing that this is. And at the same time, you can't help how you feel. So that's a little challenging, I will say, and it does make me a little bit nervous to do some of the videos, because I never want someone who is going through something similar or who has gone through something similar to feel as though, you know, I'm taking any of this for granted, because definitely not. But yeah, so in terms of symptoms, I might as well dive straight into those, because it hasn't been easy at all. So with Willow, I haven't gone back and watched every one of my old vlogs, but I do feel like my pregnancy with Willow was pretty good from start to finish. Like, other than having to do the Pregman blood thinner injections, like, it was pretty decent. This pregnancy though has just been very hard on my body in general. I feel very breathless all the time, and I know that's very normal, especially as they get bigger and all of your organs and everything are pushing up really high. But I do just feel like he fills up more of the space than Willow did. And I'm not sure if that's because, like, my skin's not stretching as much, or if he's just a bigger baby, or if this position is like whatever it is, but whatever is going on, it causes a lot more discomfort. So a lot more breathlessness, a lot more nerve pain in my stomach. The nerve pain has subsided a little bit, but in its place has just come numb skin. Like, I don't feel a lot in certain spots of my tummy, and I'm sure that that'll come back. But for right now, it's just like a little weird. And his movements are much more like painful than Willow's were. Like, I feel like with Willow, like, I felt obviously tons of movement, and they were all very different movements. But with this baby, like, he's just so much stronger, maybe, or something, maybe his position, like, whatever it is. I'm just feeling them a little bit more like they're just stronger, and so they're actually quite painful. But like, I'm feeling them all the time now. He is so active. He wakes me up a couple times every night, you know, with his movements. He goes crazy. And depending on, as soon as I lay on my side, for example, I can feel all of his movements kind of up in this part of my belly. That's typically where I can feel him, is in this area. At night, as soon as I lay down, like, you can physically see my stomach. I'll try to get it on video, but you can physically see like a bump, and then he's just dragging his little like foot, elbow, whatever it is, like across my skin. So it doesn't always feel the greatest from the inside out. It's really cool. And so what's nice though is, you know, Willow and Jason, they felt him move since, like, oh my gosh, I was probably like 16 weeks, but now the movements are so big, and you know, he'll actually sometimes like follow fingers in a way, or, you know, if like you gently push on my tummy, like, he'll push back. And so that interactivity that Jason and Willow are getting with him now as well is like really special, and it's super fun. I think I mentioned this in my last vlog, but Willow falls asleep every single night with her hand on my tummy, and, you know, he'll be moving and she like giggles a little bit about it until she's fast asleep, and it's just really sweet to have that kind of bonding experience happening even before he gets here. So other symptoms, so I feel like first trimester was like brutal, like really bad. Second trimester I felt pretty good, not symptom free, but I felt pretty good. Third trimester, I feel brutal again. It's just like every single third trimester symptom that you can have, I have it. So I've started getting restless legs at night, which causes me to like just not be able to like settle, because I just feel, and it's not just at night, like even saying it, now my brain is like, your legs are restless right now, like the feelings are there. But it's very bad at night when I'm trying to lay. Still feels like things are crawling all over my legs, and like it feels like I have to just like kick them to get rid of the feeling, but it doesn't usually subside. So restless legs, heartburn, worse at night when I lay down, The breathlessness is all the time, but really bad at times. Like depending on his position, it's like worse. Walking has been my go-to. I've been trying to walk a lot. We just walk a lot in general, but like especially through the pregnancy. But it's becoming very difficult, especially because he's just moving so much more now and he's filling up so much more of the space. So when I'm walking and he's moving, it's so uncomfortable. And, you know, especially if he's pushing down on my bladder or like into my like pelvic area or my cervix, those things are not comfortable. That's been a bit of a challenge. I've also had nausea, like off and on, more on than off. Third trimester nausea is not something I had with Willow, but I mean, I wasn't really nauseous with her very much at all. With this baby, like I can't believe how nauseous I am in this third trimester. No throwing up, but like a lot of nausea. Other than that, starting to gain, you know, more weight, and because I'm not able to be super active, a lot of the muscle that I had built before is like starting to like, you know, have muscle atrophy, which is giving me these weird symptoms like having bulges above my knees, you know, and just like other things that I don't normally have outside of pregnancy. And those are really weird feelings to have. I'm fully aware that like pregnancy will change your body and your body is going to change how it needs to like sustain, you know, the building of human life. And again, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'm super grateful for all of that. But it's also really hard sometimes to see your body change so much. Not just change physically in terms of its appearance, but actually change physically in terms of function. And when I can't do the things I want to do, like if I can't like walk or, you know, do like go on hikes with my family, which is something we love to do, it's actually like really hard to just like slow down and, you know, understand that this is a season, this isn't a lifetime. In terms of the pregnancy itself, obviously having the baby is a lifetime thing, but just really looking forward to getting my body back after the pregnancy and starting to be able to do those things again, you know, with him and have him be a part of those adventures that we normally like to do. So I will say that that is becoming a little bit more difficult from both the physical but also the mental perspective as well, because when I can't do the things I love to do, I usually end up replacing it with things that I don't normally do, like, you know, watching a bit more TV than I'd like, or just like, you know, maybe being a little bit less active. And yeah, those things just wear on me a little bit mentally. And then combine it with COVID and obviously, you know, the like restrictions and things that we've had to endure through this pregnancy. It's just been a bit of a challenge at times. But all that to say though, we've still been making the best of it. We did a little Babymoon a couple weeks ago, or last week, I guess. Yeah, last weekend. It was a combination of, you know, kind of a birthday celebration, but also a Babymoon, and had a really great time. We went to Montreal and stayed in one of our favorite hotels. It's such a beautiful city. You feel like you're in Europe when you're in old Montreal. It's so lovely. We had some great food and just relaxed and enjoyed time, just Jason and I, which was really nice. And then this weekend, we actually tried camping with Willow for the first time. So Jason and I have done quite a bit of camping on our own. We haven't taken Willow yet. Anytime we've gone, she's been with her dad. So we actually took her this weekend and she had a lot of fun. We usually, the two of us, will camp in the back of our SUV. And it's actually super comfortable. We really love it. And this time, we could not fit the three of us. So I could barely fit, actually, just Willow and I in the back. More on that in a moment. But this time we brought a tent as well. So Jay stayed in the tent and then Willow and I slept in the back. Brought my pregnancy pillow and we brought a pillow top and, you know, things like that. She had a great time and a great sleep. I did not. I was up probably like 15 times through the night, and then finally at 6 o'clock in the morning my like hip and tailbone pain was like, or my pelvic and tailbone pain was like too much, so I had to just like get up, and plus I was hungry and had to pee, so anyway I woke up a little bit before she did, actually a lot of it, 3 hours early. She didn't get up till 9, which was amazing to see. But we had a blast, honestly. It was a really nice time. And yeah, we've got a couple more trips lined up. Just little kind of, you know, quick getaways to different places around where we live. But we're trying to just like make as many memories as we can as a family of 3 before we become a family of 4. And yeah, so it's been nice. So even though, like, yes, the symptoms of the 3rd trimester and my physicality have been like really difficult to navigate, I do feel like we're making the most of it, which is kind of nice. Other than that, I mean, what do I have coming up? So I've got an OB appointment next week. I guess the one thing I think I alluded to it in my last video, but I didn't talk about. So we had a 3D ultrasound done of the baby, and actually 5D ultrasound, sorry. And Willow and Jason were actually able to come to this appointment, even with like some of the COVID restrictions. That was super special. I'll show you a little clip at the end of the video after I show you my tummy. I'll show you, because I have a little picture of him from that, so I'll show you that. That was just a really sweet experience. I'm so glad Willow and Jason could come. I loved it, and really super happy that we could involve her in that, because she hasn't been able to really do any of that kind of stuff. She's been very involved at home, but not outside of the home. So that was really nice, but I do have another OB appointment coming up. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot the most important thing. Baby brain. So at my OB's appointment, my last one, I confirmed with her, I wanted to confirm if I was going to need to be induced or not. So this has been like a back and forth thing since the beginning of my pregnancy. My thrombosis doctor essentially said that I would not need to be induced because I was only on 1 dose of Fragmin per day. However, my OB, who's ultimately responsible for my care through the pregnancy, she mentioned at my last OB appointment in quick passing that I would need to be induced, even though I had confirmed with her previously that I wouldn't need to be. So she did say something like, oh, as we get a little bit closer, we'll book in your induction date. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I thought we said that we weren't going to induce. So we had a good chat about it at my last appointment. They do want to do the induction. It'll likely be around 38 weeks, just because any sooner or any closer to my due date, I have that chance of going into labor on my own. So it'll be a bit of a, you know, week-to-week thing at the end. However, we are going to set a date sometime around 38 weeks. And then as I get into my weekly checks closer to the end, if they feel like I'm getting closer to labor in any way, then they may have to, you know, do something a bit different. But essentially, for anyone not familiar, so the medication that I take, which is called Fragmin, it's a daily blood thinner injection. So it's great, keeps me and the baby healthy and alive, makes sure that we don't get blood clots, through the pregnancy. But the challenge with it is obviously when you're on blood thinner, blood is thinned, and if I go into labor on my own, there's just like other complications that they won't have enough time to let my blood get unthinned or thicken up a little bit. Whereas if they induce me, I can stop the blood thinner 24 hours before when I come in and do the labor, and then I have to take my blood thinner right after labor is done. So that means that since I am 30 weeks next week, that means little man will be here in 8 weeks or sooner, but at minimum or maximum, I guess, 8 weeks, which is crazy. 8 weeks is not a long amount of time, and I can literally 8 weeks, we can count this down. And so it does mean that I'm starting to think about things like my hospital bag and the baby's bag for the hospital, and just making sure that all those T's are crossed and I's are dotted in terms of what we have at home for him. And so it's getting a lot more real and super exciting, but we're anxious. I'm anxious to, like I said, get my body back, but I'm also very anxious to meet the little man. So that's really it. I know that was a big update because it's been a little bit. I told Jason after this vlog, I'm going to leave my camera just set up right here in his nursery so that these are a little bit easier for me to film. But again, I think a lot of it has just had to do with the fact that I'm not having the best time this pregnancy, and I'm feeling a lot of guilt around that because I feel like I should feel nothing but gratitude, happiness, optimism, all of that. And I do feel those things. It's just that they're a little overcast right now with all these other symptoms. So before I go, I'm going to show you my tummy, and I will also measure to see where we're at. The last vlog I looked at, we were at 41.5 inches. So anxious to see how much he's grown. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments or anything, leave them below. But let me show you. So as you can see, like this t-shirt I'm wearing, it actually is a maternity shirt, but it just like comes straight down now. So I'll try to give you a bit more definition to see. But here is the belly. So as you can see, we're getting a lot bigger. Here it is from the front, which is, I don't know, feels kind of crazy. He's actually moving like right now as well. And here's from this side. So yeah, definitely feeling quite pregnant. But let's see how big the belly is now. Because you know, this is the true test. I'm actually getting a measurement on it. So we are at about 42.5 inches. So since the last video, I've gained about, I guess, an inch around, which, I mean, I guess like doesn't actually feel like as much as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like a lot bigger, but maybe the day I did my vlog, I was just like, you know, having a fairly bloated day. But yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks for letting me vent a little bit. I know that that's probably not the most fun thing to hear, but at the end of the day, like, this is pregnancy, it's part of the experience, and I'm trying to be really real versus like, you know, sugarcoat it and be like, everything's amazing, because it's just not. However, he's super healthy, and for that I am so grateful. And I'm going to show you the little picture of him before I completely go. There's his little picture. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which will likely be a full nursery tour. Okay, bye!